So I recently did a video about these AUXITO LED lights. I put a set of them in my son's Volt, and they were great lights. I really liked them. I gave them a good review. And in the video, I talked about how much I really liked them because they were nice and bright and they were nice and quiet. Well, the good folks at AUXITO decided they would send me another set that I could test out, and these are even brighter. So I'm gonna try these out in our other Volt to see how much more light output I can get out of these compared to the LED lights that we originally put in that Volt that were not even as bright as the last set of AUXITO lights. So let's go ahead and open this up, see what comes in this box, and put them in the Volt and check out how bright they are. So I was thinking the box this time was smaller, and apparently it is because these bulbs are not as big. They don't have the big dongle that stick off of them to plug them in. It's like they have everything they need just put in there at the end of that light. But it also does come with a manual, and it comes with a set of gloves, so that way you don't have to touch the lights directly with your hands and get the oils and so forth on there. And again, they are the 9012s that would fit a heavy Volt. So now that it's night, I plan on putting these bulbs in. I wanted to do it at night so I could see the difference between the two different lights that are in here. Now, I do want to let you know that this Volt actually already has a set of LED lights in it. And these lights are a new, much brighter LED from AUXITO, and I want to try them and see if it gives him more light out of this car. All right, so let's go ahead and install them now. Again, they're pretty simple. I'm just going to come over here, take this cap off, turn the bulb, and slowly pull out his existing set. These are the existing LED lights that he has in there. I'm going to replace this one with one of the new AUXITO brighter headlights, and we're going to compare them against the garage door. All right, so this is the new headlight. These lights don't have that extra chip that's wired in and hanging off of this. This one has just a direct connection to these lights, so there's nothing you have to really tuck away and hide. As long as these will fit in the housing that you have, then you're golden. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in there now. These seem like they're a much tighter fit, so when I'm putting them in, I have to push them in to that slot to make sure they seat right. As you can see, I've pushed it in past the cap, and then you just turn it, and these do seat tighter than the lights that I've had before, but they do seat in. They do seem to fit in. There's nothing you really got to stuff in there other than just the wire. And then we're going to come along the back and twist on the cap. You can tell the difference. I mean, they are brighter. See how the beam is nice and smooth on this one over here to the left, and it's a whiter color. The beam over here to the right is kind of more of a yellowish orange color, and it's got very choppy light coming off the side. That, I think, is the main difference in low beam that you'll notice, is just the way the light presents itself. Brightness wise, like I said, it is brighter, but not massively brighter. On the Volts, they actually do high and low beam using like a shutter that comes down and cuts off part of the beam. It's not real smooth. It's kind of choppy. I don't know. It kind of dies off pretty quick. But if you look here to the left, this left light, one, it's a little bit whiter, less yellow to it, and it's much smoother. The light, the shine and the width of the light is very gradual and smooth. So I have the choice, right? I have two sets of LED lights here. I'm definitely going with the new ones that AUXITO sent me. I like those better, and if I could have went back and only had one to choose from, I would have chose these new lights, and that's the ones that's going to stay in this Volt. All right, so let's look at noise. I can hear the fan. Not too bad. Let's go see what the other side sounds like. I would say this side is quieter. You still have the hum of that fan, and you can hear it, but it's not very much. Let's go back to this side. There's definitely more of a pronounced noise coming out of this side. It is warmer to the touch, but it is a much higher wattage light bulb. So there is a little bit more noise. We're gonna have to see if we can really hear that. I don't hear the lights already. I hear some people that say when you're stopped at a stop sign, you can hear the fans whirling, and that may be, but usually I'm not listening to that. We usually have the radio on or something, so I don't really ever hear the lights. Of course, I just put the cap on. Now it's almost silent. All right, so if you are installing lights in your Volt, then you probably already know that this passenger side here is more of a pain to get your lights replaced in. You have to lift this breather housing so you can push it back, and you'll move this radiator hose here, and then that will give you room to be able to get your light into the socket that's back here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and we're gonna see how bright these lights are. So if I was buying a set of LED lights brand new and I was picking these for the first time, I would probably get the AUXITO knowing what I know now. They're brighter, they have a smoother pattern, they shine much wider, and it's a nice gradual beam. But was I satisfied with these? I did like these lights too. I mean, there was no real issue with these. I know in my last video there was a quality issue with one of these bulbs, and they exchanged them and sent me another one. They're still good lights. There's nothing wrong with going with those lights. But if I had to choose between the two, and knowing the information I know now about them, then yeah, I would recommend these AUXITO lights. Now, price might be a thing too. I think these are a little bit more expensive. They're higher wattage lights, so you know, you'll have to make that decision for yourself. Now, both of our Volts have AUXITO LED lights in them. I'm gonna go take a spin in the car and see what it looks like. All right, so I'm actually at a stop sign here. You can just see how massively bright these lights are. These are low beams. I think I underestimated how bright the low beams really are. They are actually bright. They're pretty bright. So the garage door test may have not have been perfect. It's a very nice beam that this puts out. I mean, this is a wide road, and I can drive right in the middle. And I mean, it spreads light pretty bright all the way across. All right, so when it comes to noise, I don't really hear them in the car. I don't know if it's just because I'm old and deaf, but I don't really hear the noise, the whining noise from the fans inside the car. Maybe if the car was just completely silent, then maybe I could hear them. But let's check out these high beams. Okay, so those are pretty bright. They reach out pretty far. Those are a nice, solid, bright beam all the way across the road. All right, so we're now sitting in a parking lot where you can hear the car. If you can hear that. That's not the lights, that's his car. And I don't know if it's like a recirculation pump or something, but there's always some noise. It's not completely silent. His car is not completely silent. But let's look at the difference between these low beams and these high beams. So these are low beams, and those are the high beams. Back to low beams. All right, so if this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up. That helps other people find the video. If you would, also consider subscribing to the channel. It's that red button right below the video that says subscribe, and I'll see y'all soon. Take care.